Jupiter is one of the farthest planets from our Earth, and it's not very often that we get information from that planet. But ever since the James Webb Telescope came into being, all thanks to NASA, we have been getting updates from this giant planet more often. Hello guys and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we shall be taking a quick look at what the James Webb Telescope just caught using its advanced technology. First up, what is the James Webb Space Telescope? Well, this instrument is a space telescope whose main purpose is to conduct infrared astronomy. It is the largest optical telescope in space, making it one of the best instruments to capture images. It has taken NASA almost 3 decades to come up with this beauty, and it surely was worth the wait and the effort. The James Webb Space Telescope is a space telescope designed primarily to conduct infrared astronomy. As the largest optical telescope in space, its greatly improved infrared resolution and sensitivity allow it to view objects too early, distant, or faint for the Hubble Space Telescope. A few weeks ago, NASA released the images that they had captured of Jupiter. Along with the images of Jupiter, they were able to capture images of its moons as well as the asteroids that were floating in space near it. According to the images as well as NASA's analysis, Jupiter's moon Europa was seen quite clearly. Apart from that, the images of Jupiter showcase Jupiter's beautiful rings that it has circulating its planet. In addition to this, a red spot was seen on Jupiter. If you're wondering what this red spot that was observed is, well, that is a storm that's taking place in that planet. The storms that take place in that planet are way deadlier than the ones that take place on Earth. In fact, no human civilization would survive if such a storm were to happen on Earth. It is even said that the storm that's taking place in Jupiter is of such a large intensity that it can swallow up the Earth in one go. If you're wondering how these images were taken, well, that's all thanks to the NIRCam instrument on the James Webb Space Telescope. If you're wondering why the dot is red and not any color, well, it's important to note that the James Webb Space Telescope is an infrared telescope that captures images, following which it undergoes an infrared process. Apart from this red dot, Jupiter's Europa moon as well as the Theban Metas were also captured. NASA has an upcoming Europa Clipper mission, and the main target of this mission is to learn more about Europa and to check if there is any life form that exists on it. From the photos captured, it's evident that this amazing satellite of NASA can capture images of satellites and rings of planets such as Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. Evidence of this fact is one of the images that were recently captured by NASA clearly showing Jupiter's rings. In addition to this, scientists now have plans on viewing and studying the materials that are being released by Saturn's moon Enceladus and Jupiter's moon Europa. On looking at these images, the abilities of the telescope were derived. This also showed that the James Webb Space Telescope can in fact capture the faintest as well as the most distant bodies in space. Amidst these images, an image of an asteroid called 6481 Tenzing, located between Mars and Jupiter, was detected. So this shows that the telescope can also capture fast-moving bodies in outer space, but on the contrary, the telescope could also catch slow-moving objects like Mars. All in all, these images have proven to help NASA reach quite a milestone where they were able to get their hands on images from space in color. In fact, these are the first full-color images that have ever been captured. We have all studied about Jupiter through either animated images or simply virtual images that were the imagination of someone. But now, we have the real image of Jupiter and quite a few features of it can be identified. One notable feature is the rings that it has around it. The image also shows its 3 moons and the red spot about which we spoke about earlier. On looking at Europa, it was found that it has some uncanny resemblance to Greenland. It sounds weird, right? But let's have a look anyway. Europa seems to have its entire surface frozen, and due to its structure and contents on its surface, scientists believe that life may exist on it. If no life exists yet, the chance of some life forms migrating there may also be possible. To further compare Greenland and Europa, the double ridges found on Europa's surface are also found in Greenland. If you're wondering what double ridges are, well, they're linear and come with 2 peaks as well as a central trough that lies between them. Data further showcased that refreezing of liquid subsurface water drove the formation of Greenland's double ridge. So if the same is what happens in Europa, a large amount of water may be found here. This could in turn mean that life exists on it. Many believe that water could be found near the Jovian moon's outer ice shell. Though no huge life form has been found in Europa, many predict that Europa may have some microbes. Due to the atomic size and nature of microbes, the images did not show them. But beneath the ice shell, there could exist a water body, and in the water regions close to the surface, organisms may thrive. The Europa Clipper is expected to commence its journey somewhere in 2024, and they'll be looking to finding evidence to back up these theories. Finding life on Jupiter's moon will be quite a big deal for us, especially if things with the Mars missions go south. Speaking of the water under the outer layer of ice, apart from microbes or any life form, important chemicals would also be found there. In fact, these chemicals may help in the formation of life. Now, Europa has a diameter of 3,100 kilometers and is the fourth largest moon of Jupiter as of now. In comparing Europa with Earth, it was found that Europa is slightly smaller in size than our planet. The water present on Europa is estimated to be twice the amount found on Earth, and as we know that the first life forms on planet Earth hailed from water, and the same could take place on Europa too. As we mentioned earlier, Europa has ridges on its surface, and these extend for hundreds of kilometers and are normally 150 to 200 meters in height. As for the peaks, they're usually 0.5 to 1 kilometer apart. This is quite similar to what is witnessed in Greenland, and Kullberg was the one who first thought of their resemblance. This made the moon a great subject to study if life forms exist on it, or if it has the potential to have humans living there. This discovery would be a life changer. More than scientists, it was the astronomers who were on cloud nine when they found out about such an instrument being brought to life. The Hubble telescope was a success, and this was next in line to make NASA proud. NASA had collaborated with the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency to bring life to the James Webb Space Telescope, and they were rather successful at it. The reason behind creating such a massive as well as a delicate machine such as the James Webb Space Telescope was so as to derive a solution to quite a few questions that were being hushed under the rug. Now, a big question that's probably on the minds of everyone is, what is the scope or future of space discovery? Well, the James Webb Space Telescope was not built overnight. It took more than 20,000 engineers, technicians, and astronomers over a span of 3 decades to come up with the blessing of a telescope that we have today. Furthermore, the project is not a cheap one and costs billions of dollars to pull off. After the Hubble telescope proved to be a brilliant invention, work on finding a bigger and better telescope was sought off, and that is how we have the James Webb Space Telescope today. If you got a chance to use this telescope, what would you use it for and why? Do you think NASA will be able to come up with a bigger and better telescope within the decade, considering how advanced technology has become? Do let us know in the comment section below. And that's all for today, and we hope you enjoyed our video. Drop this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on your post notifications to receive the latest updates from our channel. Bye, and see you soon!